It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
Badass Slingshots,
and Mossy Oak. Back in the saddle again.
Back in the cabin again.
Hey,
we made it back to the cabin.
it's been 2 weeks, man.
It's actually been 3 weeks, right?
Well, yeah, 2 episodes, 3 weeks. Yeah, it has been. It's been a while.
We were kind of out on the water.
Yeah, I kind of missed that. That was fun.
That was a good time.
That was a riot, man, I tell you.
Put some fish in the boat.
And some miles on the vehicles, man.
Miles on the vehicles, miles on the boat. That was a long lake.
Yeah. No pun intended, long lake, right?
No pun intended on a long lake. No, that was some... you had a few more days, but it was fun.
Yeah, actually, we took 4 days up north, according to the last 2 episodes. We wrapped that up.
Yeah.
And then, I took off on vacation. I went to Savannah, Georgia.
You did. You headed down south. How was it down there? Was it a little warm?
It was hot.
It was hot. Well, when you go south in the summer, it usually gets hotter.
Dude, we were down there 5 days. It was 95 to 100. And one day I think it was over 100. Every single day.
And then you come back up here, and then you went up north, and it was 50 to something degrees this morning?
Yeah, well, I went up north. As soon as I dropped the wife and kids off, caught a night of sleep, got up the next morning, went right back up north to camp, deer camp, and checking trail cams and logging project.
So how was that change in temperature for you?
I froze.
Going from 95, 100 degrees to 57 or whatever it was?
It was 52 this morning when I woke up.
Woo!
At 6:30 a.m., and it was a little bit of drizzle, and it didn't get to 70 until I left at about 2 o'clock.
See?
It was cold.
But you took the kids down to Georgia, had a good time. I saw the beach pictures.
Yeah. So, got me a little tan, got my tan going.
There you go.
A little R&R, recharged the batteries.
Had some little dolphins in the water.
Yeah, saw some dolphins.
No shark attacks?
No, didn't see any sharks. Seen some alligators.
Did you?
Yeah, not in the wild, but saw some alligators.
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to put them on my dinner plate.
That would be kind of nice.
Yeah, and...
make a pair of boots out of them.
Saw some pelicans.
Oh, you had the video of the pelicans diving in the water. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Saw some freaky-looking spiders and some... I don't know if they were geckos or chameleons or lizards or... I don't know what they were. Newts. Some little lizard thing.
That's awesome.
So
now you got your batteries all recharged.
Yeah.
And we're heading into the 4th of July weekend. Mm-hmm. Actually, when this show comes out... the next day will be the 4th of July.
Yeah, Rocket's Red Glare. That's
right, 4th of July. You know what, though? I'm kind of I'll be up north, since we're cutting this show early.
Yeah. It's Tuesday night.
I think it's a little dry out there.
It is powder dry. Actually, I was up north, and even though we had some rain last night, a little drizzle this morning, everything up there is powder dry. I mean, powder dry.
So fireworks, I don't think is a good option.
Go watch somebody else do them.
Yeah.
So
don't need to start a forest fire because of that.
No.
And I'm afraid if anything lands on my lawn in my neighborhood.
Right? Mine's the same way.
It's like tumbleweeds.
Yeah, it's bad, but
yeah, we're having I think it's been over a month now since we've had a good decent rain.
Probably so. I don't know, man. I was coming back from vacation and we stopped in Ohio at my wife's dad and stepmom's place, or actually just out of town. We met them at the freeway, and sit down, had something to eat.
Okay.
And like, well, we need to get going. I want to get home before midnight. That didn't happen, but and I'm looking at radar, looking at the sky. I said, we got a boomer coming, and it's bad. Got back on the freeway. Of course, I was done driving for the trip. I put the wife behind the wheel, and we go about 5 miles, dead stop, traffic jam, construction. They're moving stuff around on the freeway in this construction zone. And here comes a storm. We got out of that. We got about 5 miles up the road, and kaboom. I mean, it was broad daylight, and it was so dark. It was like midnight.
Really?
Dark, yes. And it was raining to beat the band. I mean, we were doing like 20, 25 with our flashers on, thinking about pulling over. And would have pulled over, but as I'm looking at radar, we're at the front edge of the storm, and about 5 minutes behind us was a nice little hook echo.
Oh, keep on going.
And I'm I said, we're not stopping. Keep going, unless you have to. I mean, the wind was blowing. It was bad. So
did you come back up through Virginia's?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. Because of the rain.
You were talking on the phone, and I said you might want to watch that because they're having some weird flooding down there.
You know, man, and hats off and prayers to people in Virginia, West Virginia, you know, over there, all that flooding, you know, any of my listeners, or our listeners, I should say, over there. You know, man, I just feel sorry for you guys.
Absolutely.
It's that's bad news.
It's weather at its weirdest.
Yeah. I've not been through a flood like that. I've had tornado and a fire, but not a flood.
Let's not go for the trifecta.
No. So, but I know what devastation's like.
One guy didn't know where his house was, and what? It was a situation, but it was kind of a funny one. Was the people stuck at the mall because the road leading out of the mall got washed away?
That might have been planned by the mall, so they had to stay there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but hopefully everybody's getting through that and safe. And
I talked to a family down in Georgia who was from West Virginia. They had just got there Saturday. And I said, "How bad is it?" And they're like, "It's horrible." And they said, our place is fine. We're on high ground." But they said friends of theirs were stuck in a campground. They were at the campground when the flood hit, and they're okay, but they can't get out.
Wow!
So their vacation got extended due to the flood,
due to flooding situations.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad news, man. But, you know, I got to thinking, what do the animals do, the wildlife? I mean, birds can fly away, fish swim, you know, but what about the land creatures? What do they do?
My assumption is they go to the higher ground.
Yeah, do they?
Obviously, some won't make it, right?
I would think some don't make it. Yeah.
You know, the fawns and whatnot, they can't get there. If they get to high ground, if their high ground equals water. If
right.
Not, you know. Yeah, I'm sure there's some issues.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it was the Virginia flooding. I think it was the other flooding where the people chained their dog up to the house to protect the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was up to its neck in water.
Did they get it out?
Yeah, some people on a boat or firemen on a boat saw that and went over there and. But I think look at a forest fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They go somewhere.
Right.
They move out.
Yeah, and they come back.
They come back. You know, some get hair singed and whatnot. But
you know, speaking of stuff like that, I went up and checked on our logging project, and it's
that's a good for instance too.
You know, it's amazing as quickly as they go through and cut the trees and delimb them, stack them, and get them out of there. Animals are right back in. I mean, it's like, whoa. Hey, it's dinner. It's a buffet line.
It's a dinner bell. You know? It's a loud machine, but they're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's go back and look.
We were standing talking to the logger, and there's a patch of trees, you know, probably 50 yards away. We're standing talking. Here comes a doe trotting through looking at us like, hey, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to eat some of this browse over here if you guys don't mind, you know. But, the deer, at this time of year, it's different, too. But yeah, they're on all the cuttings, and it's nice to see.
Well, you did that little bit of video. Now you're up at camp yesterday. You were sitting on the back porch there, and you said if you're quiet enough, they come walking in.
Yeah, that's it's the old story. It's like you can go up to camp and have fun, but if you're quiet, it's like the old. I play it like Field of Dreams. You know, you build it, they will come. Well, I say if you're quiet, they will come.
And they came. You got pictures of them walking right down the field at you, right?
Yeah, I was sitting out there with a cold beverage on the back porch at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and here come the deer and the geese. You know, and I thought, I'm going to videotape. And you saw the fawn and the mama, and we had triplets this morning in the front yard. I didn't get pictures of them, but very young, maybe a week old. So we had late drops are happening now.
Okay.
So be interesting to see if they make it.
Yeah, you know what though? With those cuttings and that, bet you they will, and they have a decent winter.
Yeah, I'm not worried so much about the food supply. I'm worried more about the predators. So,
well, that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait.
Because we know Mr. Bobcat's kind of hanging out up there.
Well, I got the laptop sitting here on the floor full of pictures I haven't looked at yet, so it'll be interesting to see what else I find.
See who you can find down there?
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But.
So I'm glad you're back, all recharged, ready for...
fired up, man.
The second half of the year.
Flew the drone while I was up there.
You did. Good video.
That's pretty cool, wasn't it?
Pretty cool video.
Yeah.
You know, you did a little clip in the backyard, but kind of even makes it more when you're doing it over the logging project.
Yeah, it's... I'm going to put a video together and show the members of our hunting camp of, what's going on up there. That's the purpose of doing this. There's nothing worse than, people who can't get to camp until like the week before hunting season.
Yep.
And they walk in and there's 160 acres cut and it's like,
What happened?
So this way, this will be the second video I've done. I'm kind of updating them as we
Tell
go
the story, right?
Yeah.
Give them what's going on. And you're doing very well piloting that thing.
So far.
You're getting your pilot's license eventually.
Yeah, I haven't crashed, but see, there's limits on it. I got limits set on it. I can go 100 feet from, I got like a virtual fence around it, so I can only go in the 4 directions 100 feet away in all 4 directions, and I can only go 100 feet in the air. So that way, I was like, well, if it gets crazy, at least it's not,
Exactly. So
1,500 yards away, and it falls in a swamp or something. I can't see it and find
yeah,
it. So.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, it's always good. Like you said, give the members a video update. They can actually see it live moving.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Speaking of drones, I saw some footage here just today. A good friend of ours, used to be part of the Up North Journal team, Ian Sparks, has got a job in the outdoor industry. I won't say with who, because we're going to get him on the horn here in just a minute. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Ian about what he's been doing. But the drone footage in the video he put out was incredible.
Pretty cool. I saw it.
Yeah, so we're going to put the link to this video that they did on our Facebook page, on the Up North Journal page, so you guys can take a look at it. So what do you think? You want to take a break and give Ian a call?
Let's give him a call.
All right, we're going to step outside, take our first break. We come back, we're going to get Ian Sparks on the phone.
I shoot PSE because I like one pin to 40 yards.
I shoot PSE for the perfect combination of feel and performance.
I shoot PSE because you can shoot lighter poundage and increase arrow speed.
I shoot PSE for the fastest bows on the planet. I shoot PSE because my livelihood depends on my bow.
I shoot PSE because better engineering makes a better bow.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE. I shoot PSE.
Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, second segment of the show. Dan, you got Skype working here. We've been gone for 3 weeks, but you got it hooked up. And
it's amazing that the cabin doesn't fall totally apart when we leave this place.
I know it. 3 weeks, and look what happens. Everything works.
It does.
Not only does it work, but you actually got the Skype connection to work. We've got Ian Sparks on the phone. Ian, how you doing, man?
Doing great, guys. How you doing?
Great, man. It's good to hear from you again. For those of you who maybe don't know who Ian is, Ian used to be part of the Up North Journal team. What was that, about 4 or 5 years ago, Ian? Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, you know what's funny is about 3 months ago, I actually watched the episode where you were slaying turkeys with your bow.
Yeah, I looked. It's funny. I actually looked that up not too long ago as well, because I looked back on it also for the memories of me and my dad and everything too, and just how far I've come and both of you guys as well. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, time flies. It flies so quick, and before you know it, we're old, and everybody's.
No, you're old.
No, you're going to be old too. Here,
I'm behind you.
No comment.
Yeah, you be quiet, youngster.
Yeah.
But you were running with us for a while. You were hunting out in I believe it was Iowa at the time, right? You were going to school.
Yeah.
In Kansas.
Yeah, well, Iowa and Kansas. I was going to school in Kansas, so I was hunting both states, which is pretty awesome.
That's cool. That's what a way to grow up and go to college.
Yeah.
Right.
Hunt Kansas, hunt Iowa, go to college.
Right on. Yeah, definitely. But you got through school, and I remember one day you came to me and you said, "Mike, I'm going to step down from what I'm doing with you guys because I want to chase my dream." And and lo and behold, you chased your dream. You're working it, doing what you want to do. And before I give everything away, kind of take us back to that. and that opportunity when it all kind of came through, and take us through that whole thing and decision-making process.
Well, for me, it started off there in college when I started filming my hunts, and and that's when I joined you guys, and it was awesome seeing everything unfold right before me. Growing up, I always wanted to be an artist, an architect, so I did a lot of drawing and did that, and then senior year of college came around. I was like, man, I can't draw every day and have fun with it. And then I started to think, what's my real passion? Well, obviously, I knew that was hunting, and I thought maybe there's a job around hunting I can do. Well, I ended up going to college my first 3 years as a biology major, wanting to do something in the field of wildlife management. In that 3 years, when I picked up a video camera and started to film my hunts, and it really just started to take off from there. Like I said, I started doing stuff with you guys, and then as time went on, I started editing some small projects for myself, and I never imagined growing up that I would be doing stuff in the hunting industry. Now I'm doing my combination of my love to hunt and my love of art. Like I said, I switched my major 3 years into cinema production, which is obviously what I'm doing now. So it's pretty awesome seeing everything unfold, in just a short amount of time, and doing what I truly love.
I remember switching majors 3 times, maybe 4, as I went through school. My parents were pulling their hair out going, hey, you're costing me money.
There you go.
Make up your mind. But for you, 3 years in, that's late in the game to make a switch. What did your parents think when you told them that?
They didn't really, oppose to it much. They knew that I was always into art and stuff, and heck, they probably even knew long ago that that's what I was going to do, something in that field. And I do recall, there was some hesitation there when, just some stress in the family when I'd be out hunting all the time, and they'd wonder where I'm at. It'd stress them out a little bit when I knew deep down what my intentions were, chasing the dream of doing this. But to them, I'm just off wandering around, still being a teenager.
Right. Yeah, he's out. He should be back in campus studying, and studies out deer hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the hunts, one of your deer hunts. You got a flat tire either on the way there or the way back, because that was part of the story you told.
Yeah. The funny thing is that's still a common occurrence.
Really? Make sure you got a spare tire then, right? Okay. But, being a parent, and having 2 kids now out of high school, and they're trying to find their way and do what they want to do. As a parent, you do. You worry, and whether you're out, if they studying enough, or are they chasing their dream, or are they doing what and right now I'm dealing with this with my youngest son, Jake. He's got a passion and a dream he wants to chase, but it's not my dream, because a parent's got a dream for their kids.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's really hard for me to back off and say, chase your dream. You got to let them, from a
you
parent's
gotta learn
perspective.
to relax, Dad.
Well, I have relaxed a little bit here in the last couple of years. So, but take us down the road of when you got that call or that conversation about where you're at now. How did that all play out, and how did that unfold?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but really the short end of it was while I was going to college and producing the small videos I was talking about. Every time I did that, I posted on Facebook or social media, and I would ask people, what do they think of my video, the good and the bad. And no matter what, if it was great or not, I would always ask people to tell me something negative. Because, there's nothing out, no video out there is perfect.
Right.
And with that being said, I continued to get better and better and better. Well, as that time went on, I got a phone call one day, or a text message, if you will, from a good friend that's currently on Heartland Bowhunter, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, Ian, one of the Whitetail Properties crew members are up hunting in northeast Kansas, and they need someone to film." And at this point, I'd filmed 1 or 2 other shows before for TV shows, and but the problem was I was going to have to take off like 3 days of class to go do this, and still this day I can't believe it actually happened, but I was able to talk to my professors and actually got the go-ahead from my professors to go do this. And as long as I obviously got my homework done. But so I went and filmed them. We didn't kill anything, but I remember I took a picture while I was up there of one of the bucks a guy in camp got in the bed on the tailgate of his truck, and it was at nighttime, and it was the first nighttime sequence of photos I'd ever done, and it ended up turning out absolutely awesome. And the next week, I told one of the guys, I'm like, hey, would you be willing to send this to Lone Wolf Tree Stands? See if they want to use it for social media or anything. I really don't care. Just they don't have to even give me credit. I just like for my work to get out there a little bit.
Right.
And I'm not even kidding you. 1 week later, I was on the phone with Lone Wolf, and they wanted to use that photo for the cover of their catalog for the year.
Awesome.
And then we talked furthermore, and they wanted me to take more photos, and then that led to me taking the back photo cover. And next thing I know, Paul Sawyer from here at Whitetail, he reached out to me on Facebook and pretty much wanted to get me over here to Illinois and for an interview. And it was I was hesitant to make it over here because being a broke college student, for me to drive 8 hours for a potential job interview, was kind of a tough decision to make. Still a little early in the game because I still had another year and a half of college left.
Right.
But anyways, I ended up doing it and really played out my options as school went on, and really just decided to settle down here, and I've been loving it.
That's awesome, man. That's chasing the dream, right?
That's the epitome of it, right there, right?
It's you look back and did your parents now? What do your parents now think about chasing this dream?
It's pretty awesome, really. I've really noticed the acceptance of it, and I've honestly heard several times where from other sources, people saying how my parents are proud of me,
Mm-hmm.
and that really just makes me smile, knowing that I can make that my parents are actually proud of me.
Right.
That means more to me than myself actually accomplishing my dream.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's when they accept the path you've chosen, you've taken that right path at that time. I know what you mean. It's that's good, man. That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, we're bumping up on our second break here. Let's take a break. We'll step outside. We come back. I want to talk about when you first started working for Whitetail Properties, and we'll go down that road. So we'll step outside. We'll be right back after this.
So what do you do when you've completely redefined the way bows are engineered? When you've reached the pinnacle and the band starts playing your victory song, you start a revolution out of thin air. Introducing the all-new PSE Carbon Air, engineered with true carbon technology to be the lightest high-performance bow in the world. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, everybody. Third segment of the show. Still got Ian Sparks here on the phone, and we are talking deer hunting. Yes, it's
July. It's July.
It is July by the time this show comes out. Matter of fact, the 4th will be tomorrow.
Absolutely, and we're talking...
Or maybe it may even be today if you're listening to it on Monday, on the Monday release. So.
Yep, exactly.
What better way to celebrate the 4th than talk about deer hunting?
And listen to the Up North Journal, right?
Exactly. But, Ian, you got hooked up with Whitetail Properties. What was that first experience when you're part of that team? What's going through your mind at that point?
Man, well, it's always been a dream. Well, when I started doing the video work, I always watched all these hunting shows, and I had my list of shows I loved, the juries, so everybody loves them, and and then Heartland Bow Hunter, and then Whitetail Properties. I had a list of shows I loved, and when I finally stepped foot on the grounds here and really just settled down here at work, it's like, man, I'm actually doing it. It's I've worked so hard for this, and I'm here. Now what do I do?
Right.
Now, and how am I going to compare to all these guys? I'm so intimidated by these guys I've looked up to and been so jealous of their work. You know, so it really, I almost felt like I was on the hot seat. Like now I really have a whole nother level of work I have to prove.
Right. Yeah. You prove it to yourself, you prove it to your parents, but then you've got to prove it to the boss.
That's right.
It's prove that I can step up, I can do this. Did you have to pinch yourself at some point and say, man, is this a dream or is this real?
Yeah. It took quite a while before, I really just accepted it here. Like, knowing that this is what I'm going to be doing, for the rest of my life for a living. And I don't know. The pinch me moments, it's happened a few times, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to describe the feeling,
Sure.
really.
Well, now, okay, so you go out, you take photos and you film hunts and you film segments, whether it be food plots or anything like that. But take us to when you're in the stand and you're behind the camera and you see some of these incredibly huge animals step out in front of a bow or a gun. At that point, are you so focused on the shot that you're laying down, or in the back of your mind you're going, man, that's an incredible animal, and one day I'm going to get a crack at something like this?
When in that moment you grab the camera, and I don't even. I'm just focused solely on that viewfinder. And immediately I'm like, I have to get every second of footage I can of this animal, because we have a rule of 10 seconds minimum before the shot, before someone can shoot. And that's where it makes the filming difficult. Trying the communication between the cameraman and the hunter, because there's so many times that we have a deer within range and the hunter can shoot, but the camera guy can't. 2 seasons ago, I had to call a guy off because we could see it with our eyes. We had a 160-inch deer at 10 yards, but couldn't shoot him. And then this year, I mean, there was a moment where I about didn't get the shot on film because he couldn't hear me. So there's a lot of stuff that happens there that people don't know about, and it's funny when you watch it on TV. It looks like, they point the camera at the deer and
bang,
everything works smoothly. Yeah. But man, there's so many setups. When you get in that tree, you have to move that camera around in every single possible situation. If the deer was come behind you or anything, you have to have a plan B just in case.
Right.
And a plan C and D, because the deer is not reading your script, guaranteed.
Yeah, guarantee it. I mean, we had snowfall, I remember, before Thanksgiving in November, and everything was like a layer of ice. The stands and everything were, and I remember even though you're attached to the tree with your safety harness, I'm trying to move the camera, and I had a 170-inch deer come in, popped out at 60 yards, walking on a steady pace. And then you're trying to move fast to get on with the camera, but at the same time, man, the back of your mind, that platform's slick,
Right.
And by the time I got on, I had that 10 to 15 seconds, but then he jumped a fence and he was right behind the hunter. So then I had to get the camera around him, and yeah, it's always a frantic mess behind that camera, but on camera it looks like it's no big deal.
And that's the one thing I can understand what you're talking about, because being behind the camera on several hunts, it's nobody knows until they put the camera in front of them, and they and they're trying to do it, and then it's like, God, this is hard.
Well, it's that and it's vice versa as well. Sometimes the camera can pick it up, but the hunter can't.
Yeah, right.
So it's like she's right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you and I went through that scenario with your first turkey.
Yep.
I'm like, shoot. I mean, I've got it in plain view, but from your perspective, things were different.
Right, exactly. So that's the thing, and like Ian said, the communication part of it.
Yeah.
It's
huge.
It's huge, and whether you're inches or feet away.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot!
You're right. Well, the thing too, Ian, it gets me is how you've got a 160, 180 inch deer in front of the hunter, and you have to let it walk because you can't get the footage, you know? And at what point have you, let me ask you this, without naming any names, have you ever been out on a hunt with a camera and you couldn't get on the deer and the hunter said, forget it, I'm shooting it anyway, and just smoked it?
No, but I had a moment where I let the hunter shoot it, and I thought the footage was good enough, but it ended up being too dark.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not just intentionally shooting one.
And then he later said, "I would have shot it anyways if you would have called me off." that was the one where I had that 160 inch at 10 yards 2 nights previous, and I called him off. Okay. So 2 times consecutively, he didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
You're running the 3 strike rule on that one, buddy.
Yeah.
So 100. Okay, Dan and I actually talked about this. So the 100 dictates when the shot's taken. It's not the cameraman.
I think he might have been okay after the first call off, but the second call,
yeah,
because he's only there for so long.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking back, working with these guys, tell me a funny story. The funniest thing that's happened to you in the stand as a camera operator or a photographer.
Oh man, a funny one. I definitely remember plenty of stressful moments. I know that. Oh shoot.
Anybody playing any jokes out there in the stand we don't see on camera, messing with you, anything like that?
There's all kinds of jokes and stuff, but the hardest problem is keeping it G-rated, I should say.
Right, I got you. Oh, I got you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, we got to try to do that. You know, whether you're on camera, behind camera, talking.
Yeah, I got you. So it's, you know, and that's part of this job that's fun, because you know what? Yeah, it's serious, it's stressful, but you know what? If you can't have fun along the way, then it becomes work, and you know you don't want it to be work. You want it to be fun.
Yeah, that's what we always say, right?
You know, chasing that passion, chasing the dreams.
Okay, so flip that then. What one of your most obvious stressful moments? Obviously, the 160-inch deer that was too dark, but you could see it okay in your viewfinder.
Well, shoot, man. I would say last season on our show, there was a deer I filmed. It was a 170-inch class deer, and everything was going perfect. I had all kinds of pre-roll. This buck coming in, and it was out in front of me. It was out in front of us at 120 yards, and we were in Kansas, and had the camera on it, and I was running a second angle as well on the DSLR camera, and everything was going smoothly, and this buck was aimed right at us, and this was a girl, one of my boss's wives. It was her first deer hunt ever, and of course this giant buck's in front of us, and I don't even know if she realized at the moment how big this deer was. Well, you know, we're walking her through it, you know, telling her to stay calm, when to shoot and everything. And I remember my boss saying, you know, wait for a good shot, not yet. And this buck had walked into the field perfectly broadside, you know, so I was expecting the shot right then and staying on, and then the buck turned right at us and started feeding. So I took my hand off the big camera and tried to adjust the small DSLR camera to make sure I had my 2 angles going. And as soon as my hand was coming back to that other camera, I saw that the camera had actually, from the tripod head, had started tilting up. And I look at the screen, and I can see that the deer is at the very bottom of the screen. And
oh, no.
At this point, my hand is halfway back to that monitor, and the gun goes off.
Oh, no.
and without any communication, her saying she was going to shoot or anything,
right.
The gun went off. I happened to have the deer at the very bottom of the frame, but I almost thought I missed a shot.
Right.
And I was freaking out just because I'm like, man, this is a big deer, all kinds of pre-roll, and I just totally messed up the shot.
Those things happen, man.
And it's the boss's wife.
And it's the boss's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be stressful.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I mean that happened, and I've had it too where I had accidents like this year. That same snowfall was worst. That was one of the worst hunts of my life, and I was filming Rich Ball, and it was the most stressful hunts he's ever had. I mean, we had that one miss I was talking about where I had to get around the cameraman. We missed that deer. Well, he missed another deer 2 days before that, and he hadn't missed in like 20 years. And then in that snowstorm, we were going out in a blizzard, and my lifeline I was climbing up the tree was frozen with ice, so I couldn't hardly climb the tree, but we managed to. And then I was going to, while Rich was getting ready, I went to grab my camera out of my bag, and my backpack fell from the tree with a brand new camera in at 25 feet and shattered it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the tears started freezing on your cheeks.
Yeah. Thank goodness for insurance. I'll just say that.
Right on. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you do all this filming now. You're out chasing this dream. Do you still have time to get out and hunt for yourself?
Oh, yes. The golden question. Most people think, it's, I get to hunt all the time and everything. Well, yeah, that's definitely not true. I mean, I am very fortunate where now I'm more on the editing end of things.
Okay.
And I'm doing less and less filming, which originally I'd rather have filmed, but now my perspective has completely changed, and I'd rather edit because that means I'm in the office more, and thus I have weekends off.
Okay.
During the hunting season, if you're a camera guy, it's 7 days a week all season, and you're pretty much on call all the time too. Because if someone shoots a deer tomorrow in Kentucky, I have to go there immediately, and we have a second guy show up to help shoot whatever assets are needed for the show.
Gotcha.
So with that being said, I have more time now to hunt than I did my first year here. I've been here 2 years now, and
okay.
Camera guy is usually my roommate's the camera guy, and I mean he hunted like 8 times last season. That was it.
Wow. Definitely cramps your style when you want to hunt.
It's good to move up the food chain.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Move up the pecking order, so to speak. I'll tell you what. Let's take our last break. That way we can save all of our time because I got some other questions I want to ask you, and we'll kind of wrap things up because I want to talk about this video you sent me as well. So we're going to step outside. We take our last break, and we'll be right back after this.
The 2015 Dream Season Decree is a deadly combination of speed and precision. It's built for the moments when time stands still. When the only thing that will break the silence is an arrow slicing a clean path to the kill zone. The bow of your dreams is a nightmare for big game. This is PSE's Decree. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, everybody. Last segment of the show. Still talking with Ian Sparks from Whitetail Properties. Ian, you sent me this video today. Talk a little bit about, I'm going to put this on our Facebook page so everybody can see it, but talk a little bit about what we're seeing here in this video.
Well, the video is our 2016 highlight reel, and what that is, it's a compilation of all of our highlights from the 2015 deer season, and what to expect on this year's shows. Really, it's the best of the best of what we have to offer. But at the same time, trying to fit everything in a 4.5-minute video is pretty much impossible.
Right.
So yeah, we have we're gonna have 12 originals this year, it should be a great season. I'm sure you guys will all love it.
Okay, and people can see us on Sportsman's Channel. Any other places they can pick it up at?
Yep, that's at 9:30 Eastern time.
Okay,
that is.
All right. Now, talk a little bit about Whitetail Properties. The whole premise behind the show, kind of what they do, their theory of what they're doing.
Well, Whitetail Properties, we're who we are is a real estate company that specializes in hunting, farmland, ranch, and timber. And with that being said, we all love to hunt, and so like with Whitetail Properties, what our show's like, it starts off introducing the state and the area that our guys hunting at, and then from there the show builds into a hunt. And all of our agents, we have one thing in common. we all love the land. It's not just about going and shooting big deer. I mean, most people know whitetail properties because of the big deer we shoot every year. It seems like,
right.
But it's definitely not that easy, you know, as a lot of people think it is. But like I said, so many of our agents, they talk about every year they don't just look forward to shooting big deer.
Mm-hmm.
The most fun part always is the management side of it. It's building, you know, watching that deer herd grow in numbers, and watching, maybe you have a lot of 8-point genetics, watching that grow to 10-point genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And to that point, you shoot the first booner on your farm,
mm-hmm.
you know. And that's what our show is about. It's the love of the land mixed with a combination of a love to hunt.
Okay, so you're managing the land, you're managing the herd, you're encompassing this all around the hunt as well. You know, it kind of sounds like what I've kind of taken off and tried to do at our deer camp.
Exactly.
You know, we're running the logging project now. I got involved with that this year, and you know, the food plots and
the
QDMA and deer management and all that.
The photographs, the
mm-hmm.
QDMA,
trail cams, studies, and all that.
And then you can see in the we're watching this video as we're talking to you. You know, they kind of, you know, you're showing the love for the farming aspect
and the family too. They got the kids involved.
Yes.
You know,
you know, family is obviously the big impact on it, because all these guys that are on the show, every one of them, you know, has a wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it all means, you know, they obviously appreciate their family so much, having them allowed to go, you know, do this stuff, and having their support as well. You know,
absolutely.
And you know, that's where so many of my memories are, and my favorite memories are with my dad.
Absolutely.
You know, when I was with you guys, you know, I remember there was a turkey hunt. My dad filmed of mine, and you know, that's one of my favorite hunts I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know, we did a short little mini cast last week about Father's Day, talking about those memorable hunts, you know, with our dads and what those things meant to us. And, you know, everybody's got one or several, you know, it's, that's what it's about, is passing that tradition on. But
you know, and you can see that in this little teaser video that we're watching. You know, they even have the kids putting in the seed, and they're not just standing watching, they're helping. Mm-hmm. They're not just
getting their hands dirty.
Yeah. They're in there with it too. And you know, eventually in your episodes, you get to the harvest of the deer. And that's kind of the highlight of it, right?
That's correct. I mean, at the same time, though, most every hunting show, people watch it, you know, for harvesting a big deer. And yes, that's what we're known for. But I mean, really, so many times the message is much deeper than that, guys. You know, it could be just the experience in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys will have to watch it. It's episode 3 this year, but it's called Making Friends and Memories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it pretty much is based off of these guys in Kentucky bought this farm, and since they bought it, they've had it 5 years now. All kinds of friends have been made there, and you know, they've harvested several good deer, and unfortunately we lost one of our agents this year, and he from cancer, and he was there. He was hunting there one time and shot a good deer, and that deer was in the footage he shot it in 2012, and that deer was in the footage of a buck when he was 2 years old that we shot this year.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you know, it's kind of like the camaraderie of camp. You know, I've talked about it at our place. You know, getting guys to work together, you know, and working as a group towards a common goal, you know, and then you get the families involved, like you said, or, you know, some of the older generation guys who, you know, once they pass on, you know, those memories that last at camp. It's, yeah, you know, so many people think, yeah, you guys go out, you shoot a deer, you kill it, you know, you guys are a bunch of killers. It's not about that. I've always said that hunting is always about the journey and the memories you make. It's not about when you pull the trigger. I mean, I guess that's the cherry on top, you know, when we are fortunate enough to be able to do that. But, you know, watching you guys' teaser video here, that's what I'm getting out of it. I mean, when you sent this to me today, I had just came back from deer camp. I mean, literally, when I texted you, I walked in the door and watched this and texted you immediately. And it's just like, this is what I'm trying to get at our camp, you know. This is what I want it to become, you know, where everybody's working together. You've got that camaraderie, the building of the hunt, so to speak. And it's not just November 15th to November 30th for firearm deer season. You know, to me, I've said it so many times, it's 365 days a year. I'm always thinking about deer. It doesn't matter, you know, what time of the year, I'm thinking about deer. So,
Exactly right. I mean, we're going out right now. This time of year, we're going out checking trail cameras. We're out filming velvets and everything. And the awesome thing about my job is I get to go do this with friends too. I've become so close with a lot of my coworkers that it's just like anytime if I were back home in Iowa, I'm going out with good friends, spending time outdoors. I mean, there's nothing about that I'd rather change, really.
Right, exactly. I mean, when you can do something like that, I guess it's it's kind of like Danny and I. When we get to do stuff, we went fishing last week with Mar and Cody, who's on our team out of Ohio, and it's just it was just such an awesome 4 days, and took Jake with us. We had family, friends, and I consider these guys coworkers as well here for Up North Journal. But it was more of the friendship and the fun we had. It's just incredible. I understand exactly what you're saying, man. It's just so cool. And watching here, you guys going out filming these bucks in velvet, that's something I wish I could do. I just don't have the time to be able to dedicate to that. But that is just incredible when you guys do that. It's cool stuff.
It is.
So where does it go from here? I mean, I guess, in your eyes, looking at what you're doing now, is this the culmination of what you really want to do? Or is there another step that you want to take? What are you looking at in the future?
I mean, ultimately, you can never achieve your dream. I mean, like, to the point, you always have to keep striving ahead, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So now my perspective's changed, obviously. I feel like I've taken a step, obviously, and got to this dream, but, just like what our company based off of, is lands the American dream, the original American dream. And, one day I want to buy a farm. That's something I'm aiming at now, and obviously paying off student loans, which, that's always fun.
Right on.
But I'm just going to continue doing my best to produce the best stuff I can. We have such a great team of guys here. Really, guys behind the camera and everything. We have guys that specifically run the camera. To we have a guy that all he does is bring in all of our footage. He names everything, organizes it for us. There's no way on this earth I could ever do that.
The librarian.
Gotta have it, man.
Every single day we're filming, it seems like, and he's continuously organizing that. But, like I said, nothing I do could be done without those guys.
Right.
But I'm just going to continue trying to do the best I possibly can to, continue to push our show forward.
The one thing I've seen a lot of now, and I started noticing it at ATA, the Badlands Film Festival. People were starting to incorporate drone footage, quality drone footage into their videos and shows. Was that something that, for you, was that an easy thing to pick up, or how did that play out? Are you still learning that, or has it been difficult to learn to fly and shoot at the same time?
No, it's not difficult. Really, it's like driving an RC car. Is the best, the best way I can describe it.
Okay, so that you think that's going to become more encompassing with the videos you guys are shooting, or in the industry, I should say.
Well, everything has its phases, but the thing is, you need to have intentionality with everything. Okay, so many people. There was a slow motion phase. There was a slider phase. There was a jib phase. Continuous. Well, heck, there was even the DSLR phase when it really started. When they started coming out big time. When Heartland Bowhunter really started kicking it in.
Right.
And like right now, the drone phase is huge. It's becoming where everybody, even all consumers, can buy them just to fly them around.
Right.
But when producing a show, you just have to have intentionality with everything. You have to know when to use what. Like we can use a drone. I could do drone shots an entire show, but it just wouldn't be the same.
Right.
It wouldn't be nearly as good.
Right.
So that's really what is the drones. We've been using them the last couple of years, and you just have to know when to use what.
Gotcha. Man, it's just I'm sitting here. We just keep playing this video over and over again as we're talking to you. You guys did a real nice job. Now, did you edit this sizzle reel or?
Yeah, I edited most of it.
Okay.
I had a coworker. He helped get everything started for me, and then I had to get under the gun and finish it last week for everybody to watch this morning.
Gotcha.
Last night. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, man, it's been great talking with you, man. It's been too long since, I know we chat on Facebook, but it's not the same, texting back and forth or typing and actually sitting down and spending some time on the phone chatting. So it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to see, when you started with us and what you've become. It's really cool. It's awesome to be able to see you chase your dream like this.
I appreciate it, Mike. And yeah, like you said, man, it's been far too long, it seems like, and now I know I still have to make a trip up there to Michigan. I may not go up there to shoot a big deer, but I'm sure I can find a reason to go up there.
Hey, we can find some. There's 4 seasons in Michigan, and we can find something to do in every single one of them. It doesn't matter what it is, So,
yeah.
And now that I'm up here at a member of the place that I hunt at, you got something you want to try, throw it at me, and we'll see if we can make it happen. And we've definitely got a place where we can entertain you for 4 different seasons for sure.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, it might not be. It might be hunting. It might be with a fishing pole.
Yeah. Well, hey, did we catch some big bass last week or what?
We caught some big bass.
Yeah,
that was good.
You do much fishing? If I remember right,
yeah.
you did some fishing in the past, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually caught my first 7-pound bass here this summer. So that was an achievement of my own. So that's getting mounted right now. That's always what I told myself. The first 7-pounder I catch, I'm going to get mounted. So I happened to do that actually with my family. It was the first time all of us siblings had fished together in over 10 years.
No kidding. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's a way to spend
a memorable moment.
Yeah. That is cool. Well, I didn't catch a 7-pounder, but for what we did, I caught my biggest fish. So it was a couple pounds.
It was fun.
We had a blast, and it's a good time to get out there on the water, even in the summer. You got to have some downtime. You can't. Well, I don't know. I can think about Deer 365, but I need to step away from it every now and then. So, well, listen, man, you take care of yourself. It's good talking to you, and we're gonna have to definitely watch what you guys are doing this year and stay up on and watching your videos and your shows, man. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Yep, no problem, guys.
Man,
he's been a busy guy.
Living the dream, man. That's cool.
Living the dream, chasing your dreams. It's one of those. We've talked about this before. He took his passion and everything and changed his major.
Yeah, 3 years in.
3 years in, and said, okay, I don't want to do that anymore.
Wow.
But now he's...
Takes guts. He's
living in Illinois and editing his little butt off.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It's nice to see guys, become successful and achieve goals and move up that career ladder, so to speak.
Right, exactly. So. And move up, and hopefully we'll have him back on the show again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, So what looking ahead?
All right, 4th of July. You're listening to the show. I'm up in the UP at my cabin right now.
I thought you were sitting right there.
No, I'm up at the
By the time this comes out, you'll be sitting at the cabin.
That's right.
What are you guys going to be doing?
Just
doing.
Just doing.
No big plans?
No big plans.
No fishing, no kayaking?
We're going to be fishing, kayaking, shooting. I'm going to put some cameras out. Whatever comes upon us.
Okay. Gonna do some trail cams.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some trail cameras out and set them up.
How many you got to put out?
I got just a couple.
Okay.
But then we might take some couple-hour trips, go do some things. I don't know what yet, but, But the most important thing is the Fortress of Solitude.
Dude, I sat on the back porch last night at camp. And like I said, I took the videos there and just watched nature, listened to it, could hear frogs croaking. It was awesome. It was, even though I was on vacation with the family and everything, and I busted up north, I had last night just sitting there chilling for about an hour watching nature and decompressing and unwinding, and enjoying the outdoors.
Anytime we can get away is decompressing.
Absolutely.
So, yep.
It was all good.
But we'll be back in the cabin and talk about our adventure.
All right. Well, everybody have a safe 4th of July. Don't blow your trigger finger off with anything. No fireworks, anything like that. Don't wind up in the hospital. So everybody be out there. Be safe when you're playing with those fireworks.
Make good choices.
That's right. Good choices, good consequences. Bad choices, bad consequences.
That's right.
That'll do it for us this week. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
Badass Slingshots,
and Mossy Oak.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal.